Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best centers in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM here on this tier list. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 12,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day and would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So, we got the top 25 best centers in the game right here to rank in this tier list. If there's any centers I left off the list that you'd like to hear my thoughts on, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll let you know where I would rank those guys on this tier list. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. We have Artis Gilmore first and foremost, and I think he is either high A or low S. I'm going to go high A because I think there are probably 5 guys that I think are better than him on this list, but he's a great card. 7'2", with a really solid release, good speed, 90 speed. He's got a great player ability. Afro makes him look bigger than 7'2". He's a really good interior defender, pretty fast. He moves decently well. He's a really good all-around card. I think he gives you a ton of value at the center position simply because of the size and the versatility, as well as the fact that he's got a nice jump shot as well. Really, really good card at the center position. Definitely an amazing unlimited reward if you haven't already gotten him. Definitely worth grinding for if you're playing the game a lot. Arvydas Sabonis, I'm going to put B. The only reason he's that high is because of the fact that he's 7'3", because I despise his release and he's not super fast, but he is a giant, and the fact of the matter is the size that he gives you is very valuable to compete against guys like Yao, Manute, Rick Smits, etc., the giants in this game, and I think that does give him a lot of value, despite the fact that I really do think his release is pretty bad. D-Rob is also going to go B for me. 7'1", does have a good release, moves pretty well, tiny bit outdated badge-wise, but not really. I mean, he's still a very, very good card. I just think he's not quite good enough to go in the A tier anymore. I will put Dikembe in A tier, another 7'2" guy similar to Artis, another guy with a good release similar to Artis as well, and an elite defender. I think Artis is a little bit better overall card, but Dikembe is still very good, and I do think he deserves an A tier spot. Greg Oden's going to go C. Not the best release, but he is very big. Definitely has a player build that makes him look bigger than 7 foot, and he plays bigger than 7 foot as well. Very, very solid card. Not quite elite, but I think C tier is fair for him. Hakeem is also going C. Just similar to Oden. I mean, good defensive card, good speed, solid all-around option. Has not a great release. They're honestly quite similar cards, I would say. Both of them I don't think can go higher than C, but they're not terrible options. They're just not elite. Joel Embiid's going to go D because I don't think his release is good at all. I think he's one of the worst centers on this list. Not a big fan of Embiid in this game. If he had a better release, I think I'd like the card a lot, but the way his release is right now definitely kills the card for me. Kareem's going to go B for me. 7'2" with the afro. Really good defensive card. Can shoot the ball okay, but not great. That's the main difference between him and his Invincible. Now, I don't love his release, but he is a very good defensive card. He's still a very good option. Now, S tier for Invincible Kareem. Despite having the same release, I think he shoots the ball much better because he's got much higher shooting stats and badges. But additionally, the other thing about Kareem that's so good in this card is the fact that he's just so damn fast and so damn big. I feel like he's a complete mismatch against most big men because he's either much faster than them or he's much bigger than them. I feel like he creates a lot of mismatches just because of how good of a card he is all the way around and the size that he has as well. So I think he's an S tier center in this game. KP's going to go A as well. Very similar to Dikembe. I'd say he's on the exact same level as Dikembe, probably a 7'3" guy who's a great stretch big with a solid release. The size is very good. The shooting is amazing. Playmaking isn't incredible, but he's got decent enough speed, and he's a very solid interior defender, especially with the size that he does provide. So he's an A tier guy for sure. Gonna go S tier for Manute Bol. Manute is without a doubt an S tier card. Like, there's no doubt about that one in my mind at all. He's the best card in the game. He's 7'7". He's got an insane release as well, which is really kind of stupid that he's got such a good release as big as he is. He's got good speed. He moves decently well. He's just a complete glitch, an unfair option, and he's an S tier guy. By the way, I'm realizing now, I don't think Kareem's going to stay in S tier, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But Galaxy Opal Yao and Dark Matter Yao, I will put them both in S tier. I wanted to include both of them because they are somewhat different, and yet I think they are both S tier guys. Obviously, the Dark Matter, especially the hero version of Yao, is going to be the better card, but they're both 7'6". They both are still incredible mashers, have 80s plus speed, can shoot the ball decently well, and have an okay release. They're top tier bigs in the game. Both the Yaos are S tier, the Dark Matter being better, but the regular Galaxy Opal Yao can still compete against Dark Matter Yao, Manute Bol, Rick Smits, etc., etc. at the center position. Mo Bamba is C or D. I almost think he might be C. I know he's only a pink diamond and he's not like the best card in the world, but his stats are really, really nice in the hero card. Good speed, great shooter, solid dunker, very good interior defender, good all-around badges, especially for a pink diamond. He's got a ton of key badges. Release isn't great, but it's not horrible. He moves pretty well and he's got quick drops. I think he's good enough to be a C tier guy. I think he actually has an edge on a few of these guys that are coming up on this list. Vucevic is also going C. I think he's on the exact same level as Hakeem. Very similar cards between Greg Oden, Nikola Vucevic, and Hakeem Olajuwon, all of which I think go go C. I'll put Ewing top of D. I just think Ewing's release is really bad. That's his biggest flaw, because outside of that, he's actually a pretty solid card. But with the way that his release is, I do think he's a tiny bit limited, unfortunately, on the court at times. Pau Gasol going to go in the... Where do I put Pau Gasol? Probably D. Yeah, he's got to go D. I don't think he's as good as Odin, Vucevic, or Hakeem. He does have a very similar kind of release to those guys, kind of slow, but it's not... I think, honestly, I'd probably take those guys' releases over his. He's not an elite shot creator or anything. He doesn't have incredible speed. He's a good defender, but he's not insane. Like, he's an okay card, but these are the top 25 bigs in the game. Like, I think out of these guys, he is a D-tier player. Peter, I think, is actually potentially still A, to be honest. I'm going to give Peter A, actually, because he is 7'2" with a great release, and he's got acceptable speed. I think the size combined with the elite release is really, really valuable with a card like Peter, and I think he's a guy who kind of gets overlooked now because he's a pink diamond and also because he's been out for a while, but he's still an amazing budget option for a lot of teams who can compete against the top bigs in the game a lot better than most cards can. Really provides a lot of value. I feel like that it kind of gets overlooked at times, and I definitely think he can compete at a very high level, and is a guy who's worth considering if you're looking for a budget center, especially with how cheap he is. Ralph Sampson is also A tier. 7'4" is something that you just can't argue with, especially since he is a decent shooter as well. His release is not great, but it's acceptable enough, and he's got decent enough speed, where with that type of size makes him one of the best, not budget, but he's around 100 KMT. Like, he's affordable enough, and he can still compete against the Yaos and Minuts and players like that at a very high level. Now, Rick Smits is S tier, no doubt about it. I think he or Dark Matter Yao are the second best big in the game. They're very close to each other. Smits has an incredible release, though, very capable speed, great player build, 7'4", moves decently well, really, really, really good all-around card. He is a top-tier big, and I hope y'all were lucky enough to get him from RNG this season because he is a monster. Now, regular Dark Matter Shaq. This card is awful. He is an easy D tier for me. I mean, he doesn't do anything valuable on the court. He's fast and he's a good defender, I guess, but he can't shoot. His release is horrible, and he's got a 63 ball. Worst card on this list in my personal opinion. Going D tier for him. I'm going to put Invincible Shaq in the S tier. I think he's better than Invincible Kareem. And I'm going to move Invincible Kareem down A tier, which means our tier list is not going to be perfectly even with 5 guys in each tier, because I'm going to have 6 guys in A tier. But I think that is the fair way to do this. Invincible Shaq is better than Invincible Kareem simply because of their release. Even though he's a little bit smaller, his release is way better, and that's a big difference in my opinion. It's a big enough difference for me to give Shaq the last S tier spot. Tyson Chandler, B tier for me. I like this card a lot. Decent release. He's 7'1". He's an elite defender. He's got a good wingspan. Really good card. Definitely think he's better than most of these guys, to be honest. Vlade Divac probably goes C. I just think Vlade's a little bit slow. He's only got like 84 speed. It's not super slow, but considering he's only 7'1", I say only. 7'1's good size, but not incredible speed. He's a solid, very good defender. Has great badges, but do not love this Chauncey Billups release. Movement is okay, but not insane. He does have quick drops, and he's a good enough card. He's probably the best card in C tier, but is he B tier? It's close. You could put him B, and I wouldn't disagree with you. I don't know. I'm going to go C for him for now. And then Wilt Chamberlain is going to go top of... Is Wilt D or is he C? I don't know. Because here's the thing that Wilt does have value-wise. Super fast, great height, incredible wingspan. He's an amazing defender. He's an amazing slasher, and he's very, very good defensively. And he's got good playmaking ability as well for a big, especially with the speed and solid sigs and the quick drops. I just think his release stinks. I'm going to move him up a tier. I'm going to give him C, and I'm going to give Vlade Divac B. I think that's the fairest way to do this, because Wilt, despite me hitting his release, is a good enough card where he's not in this D tier. And I do think Vlade has to move up a little bit as well, which puts him in B tier. So that is, in my opinion, about as fair as I can do this type of team, and I think this is the best squad-ish that you can run right now in my team. These are the best centers in my team, and this is how I would probably rank them. Let me know what y'all think of my rankings down in the comment section down below. If there's anybody you think I rank too high or too low or anything like that, feel free to let me know. And yeah, I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.